Well, welcome to the 700 Club. 130 million meals in just 3 months. That's how much the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has provided for hungry people on the front lines. Well, today, CBN News goes to Gaza for a first-hand look at this group in action.
Meanwhile, Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu has given final approval for the IDF's plan to take over Gaza City. He's also ordered new negotiations aimed at freeing all the hostages held by Hamas. CBN's Chris Mitchell has this report.
Netanyahu met with the IDF Chief of Staff and Defense Minister.
We are in the decision-making phase. I arrived in the Gaza division today to approve the plans that the IDF presented to me and the Minister of Defense for taking over Gaza City and defeating Hamas. At the same time, I have instructed to begin immediate negotiations for the release of all of our hostages and an end to the war on terms acceptable to Israel. These two things, defeating Hamas and releasing all of our hostages, go hand in hand.
In response to charges of genocide against the people of Gaza, Israel argues that it makes efforts to protect civilians in its war against Hamas. On the eve of the military operation, the IDF released this audio of an Israeli officer calling medical officials inside Gaza City to arrange safe passage for the sick and wounded to southern Gaza. He says this requires you to prepare a plan to transfer the medical equipment from north to south so that you will be able to provide treatment for all the patients in the southern strip and prepare the hospitals to receive the patients coming from the north. Meanwhile, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee on X slammed a new report that's declaring a famine in Gaza. You know who is starving? The hostages kidnapped and tortured by uncivilized Hamas savages. Maybe the overfed terrorists could share some of their warehouse full they stole with hungry people, especially the hostages. CBN News got a first-hand look at one organization providing food directly to the people of Gaza. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has distributed about 130 million meals in just about 3 months under some of the most challenging conditions to distribute humanitarian aid.
We'll hit probably 131, 132 today, and our sites are safe, and we're looking to scale so we can feed more people.
GHF spokesman Chapin Fay tells CBN News the foundation provides an alternative to other aid distribution that's been stolen by Hamas.
You see Hamas riding around with armed men, stealing the aid and taking it. We believe Hamas made $1 billion during this war alone. And that's why we're here. We are doing it in a way, we are feeding people in a way that Hamas or anyone else cannot steal it. We're proud of our record of over 130 million meals delivered.
This woman told us what the aid means to her.
I am safe. I am good. I can eat today. That's me. Thank you for everyone working this project. Thank you for all of one.
GHF says reports of hundreds of people being killed at their distribution sites are untrue.
But as you can see, this is yet another successful distribution. Over the last month, they have been running much more smoothly, much more securely and efficiently and safely. And we plan to get better and better every day and feed more and more people every day.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, at the distribution site of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
There's an eyewitness account, you just saw it, of what the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is doing. And at the same time they're doing that, what is the UN doing? Well, they're condemning that work. What are other nations doing? They're condemning that work. They're saying, well, it's not being done properly, and all that means it's not under our control. When it was under UN control, Hamas regularly stole from it. And that has been true even before October 7th. They routinely withheld humanitarian aid from their own population in order to sell that aid on the black market in Gaza, take that money, and buy weapons. That's the real story of what's happening on the ground. Yet another reason, let us please continue standing with Israel. In other news, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced he's putting a pause on work visas for commercial truck drivers after a deadly accident in Florida. Gary Lane has that story and more from our CBN newsroom. Gary?
That's right, Gordon. Secretary Rubio says the number of international truck drivers is a security risk. This as a truck driver living in the U.S. illegally is facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide. Florida police say Harjinder Singh made an illegal U-turn on a highway. A minivan carrying 3 people crashed into the truck, killing all of them inside. The Department of Homeland Security said Singh illegally entered the U.S. through Mexico in 2018. The Department of Transportation said he obtained a regular commercial license in the state of Washington in 2023 and a limited license in California in 2024. It also reports he failed an English proficiency exam. The State Department is also reviewing 55 million foreigners in the U.S. with travel visas, looking for indications of criminal behavior or threats to public safety. Off the east coast of the U.S., Hurricane Erin is slowing, moving further east and out to sea. The storm is still generating high waves and dangerous currents. On Long Island, New York, lifeguards spring into action to rescue a surfer tossed into the rocks. In New Jersey, the high tide and strong waves washing into coastal communities. On the Outer Banks, cleanup crews are clearing off Highway 12 after flooding covered it with sand. Many beaches along the East Coast remain closed, and officials urge people not to go into the water. Turning to the abortion battle in America, pro-life groups are praising Costco for its decision not to stock the so-called abortion pill in its more than 500 pharmacies nationwide. The wholesale retailer says there's a lack of demand for mifepristone from its members. But the move comes on the heels of a pressure campaign from faith-based and conservative organizations. These groups hail the decision as a win for life. The Christian community is mourning the loss of a leading figure. Dr. James Dobson will be remembered as a champion for family values. The founder of Focus on the Family, he also hosted a daily radio program and wrote more than 70 books. Lori Johnson has this look at his life and legacy.
Psychologist Dr. James Dobson has been called one of the most influential evangelical leaders of our time, devoting his life and ministry to preserving the family. In 1977, he began the radio program Focus on the Family on 34 Christian stations. It eventually grew to 7,000 stations in 150 countries, and at its peak reached 220 million people each day. Dobson also wrote numerous bestsellers, including Dare to Discipline and What Wives Wish Their Husbands Knew About Women. He also started the influential Family Research Council and served as an advisor to 5 U.S. presidents, including Ronald Reagan.
He said, I want you to tell me what I can do to strengthen the family. I said, why not a family impact study commission?
After more than 30 years at Focus on the Family, Dobson left in 2009.
There were philosophical differences, and it was obvious that I saw things a little differently than the person who was my successor.
He began a new nationally syndicated show called Family Talk.
You cannot have a strong country without strong families. That's the next generation.
Dobson also brought his family message to the 700 Club many times.
Pat, all of those traditional views are under attack today, and everything that we have believed about the family for thousands of years, literally, is being questioned now and being undermined, and there is a real danger that the family will disintegrate.
Almost every day, things are coming out of Washington that assault righteousness, standards of righteousness, and assault the family.
Dobson also didn't hesitate to wade into culture wars, taking on issues like abortion and gambling.
My heart bleeds for what's happening in my country at this time. Killing 1.5 million unborn children who cannot speak for themselves.
It destroys families. It creates incredible problems with pathological gambling and problem gambling. There's just many, many people who are addicted to this stuff.
And through it all, he stood firmly with the message that Jesus Christ is the answer.
The most important thing is that this country desperately needs a revival, where people would fall on their knees before God in genuine repentance and forgiveness. When you get it right with Him, you tend to have it right with the people around you.
The Republican Party cannot save us. The Democratic Party cannot save us. There is only one answer, and that answer is Jesus Christ. Do you agree?
Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Gordon, his books, The Strong-Willed Child and Bringing Up Boys, definitely helped me as a parent, and he'll definitely be missed.
Well, the phrase "focus on the family," it sums up his entire life. And what a message for the church, what a message for our nation, what a message for the world. If you want to build strong societies, the best thing to do is to focus on the family. If you have strong families and multi-generational strength, well, then everything else falls into place. Our hearts are with his family, and may the God of all comfort be with him now, and the blessed assurance that he's with the Lord and he's having a really good time right now.